Today's guest is the definition of ambition with purpose. Sean McCauley turned a pest control business into a multi-million-dollar empire and then shifted his focus to something way bigger, rebuilding entire cities from Antioch, Brentwood to Pittsburg. Sean isn't just investing in real estate. He's investing in people, jobs, and local legacy. But here's what makes his story wild. He didn't grow up with the silver spoon. He grew up on an almond farm and with the hustle mindset turned into a $70 million business portfolio. We're excited here how it all started, what fuels him today, what advice he has for the next generation of builders, dreamers, and community leaders. Sean the Don McCauley in the house. Welcome to the Roots of Ambition, bro.
Welcome to the podcast, Sean.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Man, oh, bro, where do we get started? We already started down the right track off camera. But before we get started, brother, it's very awesome that you made time. You know, I mean, I have a few businesses myself. I got almost 50 employees, right? You're all the way up there. You're at the level where I'm looking up, where I'm trying to get to one day, right? And I admire that about you. The one thing, when we first moved to Brentwood back in 2017, I heard about you. Then I started looking at what you were doing, what you were a part of, your stores, your properties, man. And I remember telling my wife very vividly, man, that's what I'm talking about, dude. There's different levels to this stuff right here. So fast forward 2025, me and my wife get a hold that you guys are having a function at one of your properties, right? And bro, when I pulled up, man, my jaw was literally dragging on the floor. Right, and I'm serious, man. I'm very serious. I'm telling you, bro. Like I'm a big fan of what you've done, what you're doing, the way you carry yourself, how you conduct business, most importantly, man, how you're a family man, right? And I really, really honor and respect that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. When I walked onto your property and saw the little lake in the back, I grabbed my wife and I was like, dude, this is what I'm fucking talking about, dude. This is beautiful, bro. It was very beautiful, man. I mean that with all respect. So I got 1,000 questions for you, bro. Right? I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur in heart my whole life, right? I burnt the ships and started my own business in 2017, and I haven't stopped, right? I've been moving full steam ahead and looking at people like you just as inspiration. You dig what I'm saying? And to have you here, bro, I'm like a fan right now, man. Seriously, bro. So
for real.
I hope you're ready for all these questions, bro. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
We want to talk to people in Brentwood and Antioch, all over the place when it comes to small business. We want to know the story. We want to know what you've been through, how you've been through it, how you got there, the things that made you want to throw up. Did you almost want to quit? How'd you get over that, right? And who the heck you are today and what you going to do the next 10 years? You know what I'm saying? That's what we hear, bro.
Yeah, we want to inspire people out there, right? Like, it's easy for people to, be a fanboy like this guy and see what you built now.
Fuck, it's
but
awesome, dude.
I know that didn't come overnight. I know that did not come without its headaches and problems and things you learn over the past few years. And if we can just have one person listen to that and be like, okay, maybe they're not going to get to where you are. Maybe their goals are different, but I think you can still learn those
Or
life
hopefully they go beyond, I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely doable.
So my first quick question for the people who don't know who you are, we're talking in my head in the future, we're talking to millions of people that are watching us, right? Who are you? Who is Sean McCauley? How do you introduce yourself? Let's get this party started.
That's well, I don't think I'm as interesting as you guys think I am, but I'm just a normal guy. But I kind of look at myself as like a blue collar, a blue collar millionaire.
Right.
And I don't even like that word millionaire, but I mean,
That's a
I
fact.
just
It comes with the territory, bro.
Yeah, I just really just like hardworking millionaires, and hardworking
Right.
entrepreneurs, that came from nothing and they scrapped it and
That's right.
they made something. I mean, that's how I did it. And, I really have a real passion to help kids, that don't have that direction. Like we were talking about earlier, a lot of kids these days, and especially males, they don't level up in academia. They don't want to go to college after high school, or they don't graduate from high school, and they don't go to the military for whatever reason. And, so they're lost.
Yeah.
And
A lot of them.
and I was that guy,
Yeah.
I was that guy that, wanted to, for me, it was just making sure that I never wanted to be poor,
Yeah.
because we grew up poor. We grew up with nothing. And everybody asks me what drives me. And even to today, guys, I know it sounds very, very odd.
Yeah.
But to this day, that's what drives me,
Dude,
Same here.
I was gonna
I'm
get
always
into
looking
that.
over my back, and I never want to stop. I mean,
Bro.
just don't want to.
But that is kind of the dilemma, right? It's like that's what drives you, and that is what's fuel all of this. And we were just talking about kids and the new generations, and it's like, how do you put that into your kids?
Yeah, and I think, like we were talking about earlier, again, we grew up poor. All of us did, Generation X, and we wanted to give our kids what we didn't have.
Yeah.
We weren't, we are for sure in this world of everything, overabundance.
Abundance for sure.
And it wasn't like that when we were younger, and we wanted to have our we probably told ourselves we never want to have our kids grow up like that, and so we grew up, and we had our kids grow up in a different manner than we did, which I think was a disservice personally. I think we should have been, a little different parents probably to our generations behind us, like the millennials and Gen Zers. But they're learning, every generation has their
Yeah,
ebb and flow.
I don't think it's unique to us. I would assume that our parents also wish they would have done better and so on and so forth.
Right.
Yeah,
But we have a special time that, all the generations before us didn't have all these things we have now, which, from the internet to social media.
All the tools.
It's just all these things. They made the benefits and the problems times X millions of times, right? Because before, you could.
Yeah.
If the worst you can do is go out on the street and go make some trouble, which you can make plenty of trouble back then. But now it's like you don't even need to leave your house to do some really serious stuff. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I like getting back to the blue collar thing. I mean, I see like just a big need for mechanics. And HVAC guys, electricians.
Plumbers.
We've been
plumbers.
talking about that
roofers.
lately a lot. That's the new engineers.
Yeah, and I always say to people because I'm in pest control, right? Like that's how I first started, and of course I diversified later. But I mean, we're all in blue collar industry, and I tell people, hey man, it's not sexy, but it's lucrative.
Speak it, bro. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about earlier too. I was a C player in school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me too.
I wasn't stupid or dumb or whatever, but I just I couldn't learn, right? Like other kids learned. But I learned later on in life, that those C players is so true. Those C players hire the A students to help them run their companies, or we hire them as lawyers or whatever to get us out of trouble and different things, and they work for us, And, the B players, literally are our managers for our businesses, and
100%.
I would probably call myself a D student, but anyway.
D minus.
Yeah, D plus, maybe. Come on. A little more.
I was
credit.
a D minus.
You're a D minus? All right. Well, so, and then the C players, of course, they run your companies for you.
Yeah.
And, the D players, they usually own them all, and it's so true,
true.
People don't think that's factual, but it's very true.
Yeah.
And I always tell the kids too, it's weird in high school when I reflect back on what we learned and everything that we did in school, and you learn how to learn, which is good in school.
Yeah.
But what they never taught us was, which I think is hugely valuable to my success today, was they never really taught us how to be socially acceptable, right? There's social skills you need.
Yeah.
How to get along with people, how to make a deal, how to negotiate.
I think even if you cut
Communicate.
the study hours in half and just teach that for half of the day, you'll have better adults.
Well, like
100%.
what they say about Rockefeller, man. Like, he started the school system. He wanted a nation of workers, not thinkers.
That's exactly what we're seeing today.
Yeah.
I mean, they teach you, and I'm not knocking school.
No.
Or
There's a place,
academia in general, but they teach you how to be an employee.
Yeah.
They teach you how to work 9 to 5 till you're 65 years old. You retire and then you're done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is not a life. That's a prison sentence.
Yes, absolutely.
And kids need to understand that we're capitalists here. America is capitalism. It's synonymous with capitalism. And what does that mean? They don't really know what that means. And when it's empty words when people say you could be whatever you want to be, or you could do whatever you want to do. I mean, what does that really mean, though?
Yeah.
What it means is that if you work hard enough and people steer you the right direction,
Right.
You will probably be pretty dang successful.
Yes.
And I think that's what kids need to hear is, what do I really need to learn?
Yeah.
Do I need algebra? And I got a little story, guys.
Yeah, go,
Okay,
Dave.
I got a little story.
Bro, we are all ears.
So I wasn't the best student, but I did have like college prep classes. So I was in all these classes, but I knew geometry. Okay.
Yeah.
I hated math.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, you know what? I don't need this. I said, Mrs. Nash, give me a D and I'll get out of your hair. This is the second year I've had your class. Just give me a D. Get out of here. Graduate. I want to graduate this year. I want to get out of this school. And so I said, I'm never, ever going to use geometry in my life.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? I want you out of my class. It's probably what she said behind the scene. I want you out of my class. Okay, I'm going to give you a D. I'm out. All right, I've graduated. and I got this job doing pest control and stuff. And lo and behold, about 2 years later, I'm trying to figure out the area of a spraying job.
That's why I was laughing. I was like,
And so I look, and back then we didn't have the internet. So I'm like, damn, man, this is Mrs. Nash's geometry formula that I remember back in the back of my head. So I called her ass up and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I was wrong, man. I mean, you were right. So school does have use.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
No, and math being, I think, the most important thing because math
That's
also
hilarious,
teaches you how to think, have your own thoughts. Meaning, like, if you truly understand math,
Well, you got to think.
when you look at a problem, you can look at a problem and make your own conclusion, not just regurgitate whatever was taught to you in school, because you're understanding that.
You can figure out how to problem solve. Problem solving, yeah, I agree with that. But back to like this social piece. I would love to have like this revamping of schools to say, hey, what do kids need that are not going to continue on with a degree, or not go to the military, etc. What could we give these kids that would really give them a leg up in life? And the first thing that comes to my mind all the time is they need to learn social skills. They need to learn how to
100%.
get along with people.
Yes.
As if they master that,
They don't even know how to shake a hand.
no, look you in the eye, shake a hand. I mean, they need to learn.
I'm working on my little one. That's my work in progress. But I don't know if you're gonna get to meet my oldest, but like
He's the complete opposite.
I work on them all the time because it's like this is an important thing. It's like it doesn't matter how smart you are, if people can't even be around you because you don't know how to be a human,
Right.
all those doors are gonna shut down.
Yeah, and it took me a while to to really learn how to get along with people and learn how to negotiate. And in my life right now, negotiation is everything, and making sure they bring two sides together, and that's really the key to life. If I learned that a lot earlier in life, I would be probably further than I am today.
Yeah.
And so, those are anyway. That's off
Your
school
building
thing.
blocks.
Do you think on top of what you were suggesting that should be added to schools, don't you think trades should be another thing that should be in
Back,
high
bring
school?
them back.
100%.
Bring 'em back,
Wood shop. I mean, totally.
Bring them back.
And
Auto shop. I mean, they just knocked out auto shop at Liberty. I think.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere,
that was
man.
a bad move, I think.
Even as I think as early as middle school, like I grew up in Mexico. I was born here but grew up in Mexico, and in my middle school I did computer science, which was not just being in front of the computer. They taught us like the framework of computing and how to fix them and stuff. We did welding And then there was home ec where you can go away from cooking to making a dress, hemming your pants. So that was just middle school.
Yeah.
Then we had a civics class that taught us how the government works, which, I talk to young kids nowadays and they don't even know how it works. But they're saying whatever they hear their parents.
Or they're reading the book.
Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like sometimes my kids will come and say something about something going on in politics. And I was like, buddy, if you don't understand it, you shouldn't just repeat it.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Because you,
I think we're missing a lot of that stuff, and we can go on and on about the schools because we probably don't like what we're seeing a lot of times. But I mean,
how old are your kids?
Oh gosh, I don't know. They change every year.
You got all girls?
All girls.
How many?
Girl dad.
That's it.
Girl dad.
I don't want any boys. I love the girls.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wanted a boy, but once I had these girls, I'm like, they're good. I mean,
How many daughters do you have?
3. We got 3 girls. They're in their 20s.
Nice, bro.
Yeah. So they're great. And I wanted them to go to college. They went to college.
Yeah. This is not to say you shouldn't go to school.
It's not to say you shouldn't go to school at all.
Please go to school.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. It's not that. It's just, there's other opportunities if you don't,
dude.
You don't level up.
So, so here we like to go forward. We like to go backwards. We like to get in the middle, right? We like to keep the conversation flowing. So just really quick, we talked about it off air. You said your parents migrated to California from Hawaii.
Yes,
right?
I'm from Hawaii.
Right, and then they bought property out here.
Cheap property.
Cheap property at the time.
Yeah.
What year?
In the 70s.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. So the almond.
Yeah. So we were farmers. I mean, we bought a small farm here in Brentwood, and Brentwood was nothing like it was
right
today. I mean, it was where we live now, which is by Heritage High School. It was literally the outside of.
Yeah.
I mean, for me being a student in the schools here, I was the furthest person out.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. My brother and I were the furthest people out. And
Do you guys still own that land?
We do, yeah.
That's awesome.
The short story would be that my dad lost a lot of the property. My mom died when we were young, and then our dad, we continued to farm. My brother and my dad and I, it was all, that's where we kind of got our work ethic from, probably. We just all we did was work.
Sun up.
My dad was
sun
hard
down.
on us, I mean, I don't have any regrets about it. He was, he was, he was
Blue collar.
Yeah, he was mean, and but I wouldn't have it any other way. And he taught us how to work, and so we grew up out there, and in the 80s, we lost everything.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because banks were taking farms, and we had a couple of different recessions, and I learned.
And it was tough for making any money at a farming.
It
back
was,
then.
Farming's just a really, really tough gig, and now in Brentwood farms have really maturated into this vertical market to where they're producing a product from their wholesale product, from their commodity. And so, for instance, we grow olives and we make olive oil and we sell it retail. So that's called vertical integration. And back then it wasn't like that. So we grew a commodity and
the middle person is the one making the money.
Everybody's making money except for the farmer. A farmer in general makes about 8% of a product.
I didn't know it was that low.
And they put a majority of the work into it, right? And so they make about 8%. It's pretty sad. So, what's cool about Brentwood is Brentwood recognizes that and quickly turned vertical, into that marketing category. Nice. And a lot of farmers here value add a lot of their stuff. And of course, we have the big U-Pick thing, and we move into the retail portion of it instead of wholesaling all of our products here. So, but back then, farming in Brentwood was the only way I could describe Brentwood back then in like the 70s and 80s was it was like Knights and Is.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Yeah. And so everybody thought of us as like, a bunch of goat herders,
but that makes sense. That paints a clear picture. I got you.
Yeah. So we were kind of like the low people on the totem pole.
Yeah.
Antioch was the big juggernaut. They were the big city. They were like Concord would be.
Yeah.
Oh, they were, no?
The place to be. The cruise was there. The whole thing was there. And then we were the hillbillies. Out here. And Oakley was full of a bunch of thugs.
Yeah. Really?
Criminals. Yeah. But that's the way it was back then. But in the 80s, we lost everything.
How'd your dad take that? Like, how was?
My dad died early, soon after that. So my brother and I went back into this business market. My brother went one way, I went the other. We just because we had a really good work ethic, right? So my dad worked our asses off, and so when we came into like the other world of okay, I got to go work for somebody now, and it was easy.
Because nothing was like your dad, bro.
Dude, it was like
it's a walk in the park.
I have another shift I could work. I
can take a break.
8 hours. That's like one shift.
I can drink water when I want.
Yeah, and so it was an eye opener. It was kind of like catapult us in. And so
you guys were super young then when your dad died.
Yeah.
Because if you say it was after that, you guys were in the 20s.
We were relatively young. We were adults, but we were
early 20s.
Yeah, but you were young.
20s, yeah. We were young, but we lost everything. So the good story is later on, my brother and I said, "Hey, man, we're going to buy all of our property back." So we just slowly we just said we're going to buy it because it was more of a we want it. We just like farming. We don't really make a lot of money.
Are you the older brother or younger?
I'm the younger.
You're the younger.
My brother's older than me. But So anyway, I mean, back then it was a lot different. I mean. Things were good. We entered the workforce, and and because of that upbringing we had, we really literally just kicked ass,
Yeah.
And
let's jump into that, dude. So what got you and your brother into the pest control service?
So I went one way. My brother did another thing.
Okay.
I got into pest control first back in 1988.
The pest control service is what got you going, right?
I mean, by trade, the pest control industry, okay, and again, it's not a sexy industry,
right.
But like any person getting out of school, I wanted to be a police officer or a fireman.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody does. Like all of us knuckleheads just want to get shot at and put out fires, right?
But my 14-year-old wants to do that right now.
Yeah, we all want to do that. But then I said I got to get a job because we don't have anything. I was basically almost homeless, and I said to myself, well, I got to go get a job. I got this job. My wife's mother got me this job doing pest control. And
so you met your wife early?
Yeah, in high school.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, man. And we I did pest control, and I said to myself, man, I don't really want to get shot at anymore. I not anymore, but I don't want to get shot at or thinking about dying.
Yeah.
Not that I was being a pussy, but I mean, I just didn't want to get shot at. And I said, this business is good. Because
you got to see it firsthand.
I want to be. I want to be an exterminator. I want to own my own business. I mean, literally, like 6 months into me doing this, I'm like, that's what I want to do.
You were already thinking, I want to own my own business.
That's when I would say that's when my entrepreneurial spirit started. Like that's when it bit me. I call it a bite because, like I say, kids and back then at my age, like 18, 19, we just don't know what we want to do.
Yeah,
we just don't know. There's so many things, and it's
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I mean, nobody grows up saying they want to be an exterminator.
No.
But when I got into the business, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I can make a ton of money doing this, and I could scale. I want to have good people working around me. And so the short story is this: because I don't want to bore you because it's super boring. But I worked for this guy, great guy, and he died.
Oh,
it was me and him.
Yeah,
and he died. And the trust took over this business, and it had a couple of kids in there, and they didn't know what to do. And I said, well, hey, I'm going on my own, in pest control. And I want to be transparent with them. And this is a good lesson because honesty has always paid off for me.
100%.
And you don't have to be dishonest in business. You just don't have to be.
No.
And in the beginning of this whole thing, I said, I'm going to help you run your guys' company, but I want you to know I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And I want to open my own business, but I ain't going to leave you guys hang.
Yeah.
And so the owner died. You need an operator's license to run a pest control company. I happened to have one because I was going to open my own company. I said, hey, I got to go take my test next month. I'll go take the test. I'll be your license holder.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? I'll help you guys through this, and then you guys can do whatever you want.
Respect,
with the company. And so out of that, they had pretty they had mad respect for me, right?
Yeah,
because I wasn't just their dad died, and
absolutely.
They don't know anything. They don't know anything about
bro.
pest control. I knew how to do. I was a fast learner, man.
That's fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah, the one thing I do think I have that's good. The only trait that's good is that you only have to tell me something once. I'll learn pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I look for that in a lot of other people too.
Yeah.
That's a very good trait to have. Hey, you get stung once, just don't do it again, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I ran their company for about 6 months, and then and they came to me and they said, "Hey man, we just want to sell you the business." And so I was like 19, I think.
Oh shit.
Or 20. I didn't have I was broke, and so I had managed to save up a little bit of money, and long story short, again, I got this SBA loan when I was like 19 or 20, 504A. And the best thing that ever happened to me is I'm a success story on the SBA front. Okay. I was like 20, years old, didn't have any like formal education. I got a loan. I got a loan for $200K to buy this company.
No.
Yeah. Think about the 20-year-olds today.
Back then, that's a lot.
Okay, hold on. Time out. You know why? Because you were a good dude, bro. Mm-hmm. You were doing good things.
Maybe.
And that's how the universe works, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
I got that loan. It was not easy, but I got it.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
That's
so $200,000. I bought the company from the kids.
What was the name of the company?
Garden Plus.
Garden Plus.
Yeah. That company I grew. So that company was me and another guy. He's still with me today. This guy.
Way.
He's in another company. I hadn't launched another company. He's doing it, but we're still friends today. And he ended up working for me,
Yeah.
And we scaled that business from like 1990 or 1991 to like 10 million, $1 million a year. It took us like 10 years to grow to, we were like 10 million.
Wow.
In revenue. So we had a trajectory. I mean, maybe it was 11 years or something like that. Anyway,
right. Was there a lot of competition at the time?
I mean, there was, but I made some really good I call good mistakes.
Oh, okay.
You know what those are? That's when you take a risk.
Yeah.
And
it works out.
And it works out. Yeah. You got to have the balls. You got to go out and do it.
No risk it, no biscuit, baby.
Yeah. And so the first bite I got in real estate was this, man. This is a cool story. The first bite I got, the real estate bite, right? So I bought the old Champion Nissan in Pittsburg, big old place, right? I was 24, 5. I was young, bro. I was young. Fuck, I was young.
You were a fucking baby.
So I was like 25 or 26 or something like that. But I bought the old Champion Nissan, and it was a big metal building on the side of the freeway, which Nissan was there in Highway 4.
Mm-hmm.
And this was late 1990s. Okay, so I was a little bit older, but I mean, and I said, man, I got to buy this place. I just got to try. I don't know how I can do it. I said, just F it. I got to try. It was $850,000, which was a lot of money back then. I was like 20 something years old. I'm like,
oh wow,
I don't care.
Bro.
I'm all in, right? I'm all in. I'm going to do it. I know I could make this if I could do it. So I got my first SBA loan. I paid religiously, bang, bang, bang. And fast forward, I had like 15 employees or something like that. And I said, I want to buy this building. It's $800,000. And we were small then. We're a small company then. 15 employees, whatever. I want to buy this building, and I ended up buying it through an SBA 504A. So I got a new SBA loan, and I'm in this massive 20,000 square foot auto dealership in Pittsburgh. And I had 12 employees. I'm like, hey, everybody park their car around the front side. Everybody, make it look like we're bigger. It's crazy. Yeah. And all the cars are, back then Highway 4 was just like it is today. 100,000 cars going, all of us going to work on Highway 4.
Massive building with your name.
Massive building. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I bought this thing. I was just risking everything on the table. Like I'm a gambler,
Yeah.
And back then I just put everything on the table, man. I said, if I lose, I lose. I'm just going for it, And then
this is wild, bro. So
this place is huge. We took one part of the office, and we're doing business, and we're opening up. And then the first day I walked in there, I was in there. We're all getting ready to set up our office and business, and we're pounding nails, cleaning up glass, taking boards off the windows, all this shit. And this guy comes up to me and says, "Hey," walks in the door. His name is Peter Imsand. He's over at Bill Brandt Ford right now.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Peter Imsand. Yeah, he's the general manager over there. And he comes up to me and says, "Hey, who owns this building?" I said, I do.
They're like, where's your dad at,
he
bro?
Goes, yeah. and he goes, "Well, what are you doing with the other half of this?" He asked me what I was doing. We're a pest control company. We're taking this office to our office. What do you do with the other half of the shops and all the parking lot where all the cars are? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't need it. That place is huge, man. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. He goes, "Well, do you want to rent it?" I'm like, I don't know. I think so. I go, what? How much you want? This is. We're talking like this right here. I'm like, all right. How much you want to pay? He goes, I don't know. Like, how about $10,000 a month?
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, I'm just like, what? He goes, yeah, I'll give you a deposit. How about if it ain't long? The shortest end, right? He goes, well, let me have you save it for me. I'm gonna give you he gave me like a $20,000 check or something like that, I think.
No way, dog.
And then my payment, I didn't even know how I was gonna make my payment to the SBA, right?
Oh,
$800,000.
Dude, your story is
because
amazing.
it was 9% interest back then.
Yeah.
So my payment was like $8,000.
Yeah.
20-year amortization, so the payment was high.
Yeah.
And so I was like, shit, man, I'm gonna make this payment. And so he said, well, I'll rent it for you for $10,000 or something like that. I'm like, okay. I think that's all right. Let me think about it. All right, yeah, deal. And so back then, and I was young, okay? I mean, now I have a little more business acumen behind me now, but I mean, back then I was just like, okay, man, being in real estate is good.
So
you know what I mean?
You started connecting those dots.
Yeah. Not that was a mistake, but it was just, okay, this is what I got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to build business. I got to build real estate empire. And that's the magic potion, right, to wealth. And so that's my first bite right there is this, okay, this is the way I got to go. And that day taught me a lot. The next month, we opened up our business. We put the big sign on the side of the freeway. Yeah. I never knew what was going to happen to my business, but I think we were averaging 72 calls a day just from being on the side of the freeway.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we had to do is just be on the side of the freeway.
And so you had the whole corridor. You had Walnut Creek.
But when you bought
Concord, Pleasant Hill, Martinez.
Everybody knew us.
When you bought it, were you thinking like, okay, this is one of the reasons why I'm buying it because it's by the freeway?
No.
That's just
we thought about it. We're like, oh, it's cool to be by the freeway.
Yeah, but you didn't.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But I knew it would be good, right? But I didn't know it would be good. And it was unbelievable. I mean, that taught me everything, that drive, and so that was the best mistake I ever made, kind of thing. Like, I mean, it taught me everything, right? So that building really gave me my ground roots to what I am today and what my team is today. And the same team that was with me then, believe it or not, is with me today.
Oh, wow.
That says a lot, dude.
I mean, we have tons of employees now and all this other stuff, don't get me wrong, but I mean, that core team, I mean, I take care of them, and
there's people that they say they take care of their employees, but when you have somebody with you for that long a time, you don't need to say it. There's a reason why they say
it. It just speaks to itself.
Yeah, and you have to be good to your people, I mean, in general, it's been a good life, I mean, I if I died tomorrow, I'd be fine. I mean, everything's been good, and but business has been.
That's fucking
probably
awesome,
I mean, the number one thing in my life that I love to do is everybody asks me all the time, and this is a big question they ask me all the time, is, well, Sean, you're worth hundreds of hundreds of millions. Why are you buying all this stuff?
That was my next question.
It's not the money, man. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but you know what it is?
Say it, bro.
It's the win.
Yeah.
It's the win,
Yeah.
I mean, all these football players on the football field are millionaires,
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're all millionaires.
They want to get that
multi-millionaires.
W, man.
They don't have to work anymore.
They don't have to work anymore, but why do they beat their body up? And why do they risk everything?
Yes.
Why? Because they want to win.
Yeah.
And so we look at business that way, Can we win ethically? Honestly, can we inspire people, help people? All those things come into play when you're older, you're a little more mature. But I mean, in reality, business is a game. It's a big board that you play. And You know, I mean, you just want to win. It's not about really.
But you just said something like is definitely a game, and but the theme here and the story you're telling us is like ethics is a big thing with you. I can see it, and everything you're telling us. So like, what brought that? Because that's not everybody. I mean, I'm around a lot of people in business. So is Danny, and I'm sure you know plenty of people in similar situations. They're maybe making a little bit more than you because they're not doing it ethically, and they're, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, when you're not doing business by the book, through Christian values, through all these positive reinforcing avenues, then your life's going to be short.
Yeah,
I mean, word travels too fast in business. I mean, you will die on the vine, and that's the reality of it. I mean, if you can only do so much in the area unethically, and people sniff it out right away. I mean, when there's different levels of business, like we're saying. I mean,
there's different levels, bro.
And when you're in business 101, it's one thing, I mean, you're down there scrapping, but when you go into this business 909 school, it's a whole different ball game, I mean, I thought I was doing really well, and then holy cow, you go to these things, these functions, and you're like, oh, you brought his jet in. Oh, okay. I mean, okay.
So I got to meet Bob Shaw from Shaw Carpets.
Oh, okay.
And that's a different levels. He sent his private jet to pick us up and take us to Georgia, and I'm like,
all right.
Yeah, that's different levels.
Different level, right?
Yeah. But
so man, what's the one piece of business advice that someone gave you that blew your mind, that was good?
I think the biggest thing advice-wise that I received when I was younger that I still do today that probably attributes to my discipline is my goal setting strategy.
Yeah.
And that sounds silly, right?
No, hell no, bro.
So men and women set goals differently.
Yes.
Men normally will set, hey, I got 10 items that I'm going to list down, and these are my goals. And they post them up, and they look at them, and they're going to say things like, I want to be wealthy. I want to own a car, a sports car.
Yeah.
I want a Rolex watch, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Women's are going to be, I want a family.
Yeah.
I want, whatever. We all have different, financially, men are usually geared goal setting that way.
Right.
And so back in the day, I had a really good friend that set his goals according to the 5 F's, which I adopt to this day and I promote to all my people that I mentor. And ever since I started doing that back in the early 90s, my life's changed, What
are the 5 F's?
So the 5 F's are family, faith, fitness, finances, and fellowship.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, it's a balanced way. You hear about these successful entrepreneurs that super wealthy, they tons of money, but they end up committing suicide.
Yes.
You hear about these people that are super wealthy, super successful financially, but their family's falling apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super wealthy, but they just have no friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a difference,
There's no fellowship
between being
there.
rich and being wealthy, right? Because if you're wealthy is
right, super wealthy, super great, but they're physically unfit, and they end up having a heart attack and dying. And so the key, I think, to my whole career that I've had so far has been I always set habit changing goals to this day.
Yeah.
Under the 5 F's program. I literally do it every year in December.
Okay.
And it's a discipline I've done, and I attribute everything like I've been able to do to that discipline of making sure that's in front of me, and it's not just 10 financial goals.
Yeah.
It's 5 goals in each one of these F categories,
Yeah.
And a good example is this: is that a good goal is a habit changing goal.
Yes.
Right. So if you want to be healthy and you want to run a marathon, right? You don't just write down, I want to run a marathon.
No.
That's not a goal.
No.
That's going to disappoint you.
Yeah.
But if you, in the fitness category, you can say something like, I'm going to drink no soda this entire year and no processed foods.
Yeah.
I'm going to exercise 3 days a week.
Yes.
My third goal is I'm going to, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then maybe your last goal is I want to run a marathon.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
you have to change your habits.
You got
all
to change
those
your habits. Those goals have to be achievable.
Yes.
And you set these. I set these goals in each one of these areas, just like that. And it really, like I said under my fellowship piece, I always said to myself, I really want, because I really rail on the school system a lot, in my personal life and everything. I just don't believe that they're doing things right sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these teachers that I had changed my life, in different ways.
Yeah. Same here.
Certain teachers, when you're a kid, you're like, okay,
they dropped that certain token in there.
He had an impact on my life. And so I told myself once a year, I always write a letter to one of my teachers.
Oh, really?
So cool.
And the last one I left like a little gift basket at our store for one of my teachers that gave me.
That's awesome.
Gave me I got an award for something. I think it was a writing award, and creative writing award, and that changed my life back then. I was like, man, this teacher really
believed in me,
and that impacted me. I didn't know that till I was in my 40s, 50s, and so that's one of my goals, right? Is to do that. So they're not always habit change forming, but it's impacting things, right? So they're not always habit forming goals, but but
they're action items. They're like they're not just a wish in general. Yeah.
Contact one of my old friends at least once a month.
It's like a KPI for a business.
Yeah. Key performance indicators, like you're saying, KPIs. I mean, we live that system in all of our businesses.
That's like on a personal level. That's kind of what
level. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I'm curious, man. Do you implement that with your employees? Like, is it? I mean, do you like bring to them the 5 Fs? Like, is it like a culture you're trying to build within your companies?
I think I try to do that as much as I can. I mean, I don't ever force like what I do or what I say.
Right.
I wrote a book, and in my book is all my principles, and it's not about me. It's about life and how to run a business the right way and how to do it and how I've done it. And in there is my principles of goal setting for your own personal goals, right? Because you cannot have a successful business or venture without being in every one of those categories 100%. You cannot get to the point where I've gotten without having that.
Absolutely.
And I'm here to test that. I don't care who you are. Yeah. If you want to be super wealthy, you will not get there by not understanding your direction and goals. You just can't, and so how do you do that in a real tangible way? Is you got to, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
It's simple, man. Write it down and you keep it in front of you wherever you go, in front of my desk, everywhere you go. You see it all the time. You're like, oh man, oh shit, I got to do this. I remember this.
Do some people think you're crazy for that? Have you ever had someone like, man, does that really work? Because honestly, since I was a child, I always had that habit. Like I'm a big fan of quotes. So if there's a quote that sticks in my head, like the one for me has always been, think positive and positive things happen, right? It's something that I always write down. I send the message to my kids. But I'm big on just, if you want something to happen, you have to write it down, right? And you have to put a plan together on how to get there.
Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of people would look at me where I come from like, you're crazy, bro. That's like a pipe dream.
That's because they've never done it.
Yes.
And they'll fail all the time. And I've been known to be hard on those things. You know what I mean? Like I'm like kind of no bullshit when it comes to these things. Like if you really want to be good, then you do the work. You gotta do the work.
You gotta do the work.
If you don't want to write your goals down like the way I'm telling you to do it, then okay. Don't expect to get anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy I am.
Yeah.
What's the name of your book?
DNA of the Young Entrepreneur.
I'm getting that book, bro.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I'm getting that book, dude.
I missed that one. I screwed up on this research because it did not come up.
That didn't come up on the research.
Really?
Now I gotta read it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that young kids these days, if they don't understand the goal setting piece and how to do it, it's really been doing a disservice for them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of stuff they should teach in school.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurial activities.
Yeah.
And but goal setting probably number one thing for what
and the way you're describing it honestly hits home. So like I'm already thinking like, oh, I got to describe that to my kids that way.
Yeah.
The way you're saying it.
Yeah.
With the 5 F's and everything, it just makes sense. It's so digestible.
Yeah. Fitness goals.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks fitness goals have nothing to do with being a successful entrepreneur. They are wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
fitness goals are everything.
Me and him been talking about a lot because we're both.
I've lost 75 pounds, bro.
I lost 35 because we've been talking. We're in a point of our lives where we're more successful than we used to be. Each in our own different levels. But we've been talking, it's like, what is it all for if we die tomorrow because of a heart attack, like you were just saying, because we're not taking care of ourselves. So
there's a lot more synergy in that model too, because when you're physically fit, you're mentally fit. Yeah. I took up running and kind of solo sports and that really gave me time to mentally decompress from my day.
Yeah.
Strategize alone. Right. Mm-hmm. So there's more to just being physically fit in business the relationship between the two.
100%.
And so it teaches you not to be lazy, teaches you to get up in the morning and just get it done. There's a lot of things that factor into like being super successful.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like a lot of work to people, but
also I think
that's what it is though, dude. It's work.
It's work.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Also a hack, I think, because for the exact things that you're saying is you can have all the and people could do it, right? They can have the willpower to just push through it, even though they're overweight, that just don't feel like it, and still be successful. But if you take care of your body and doing the things you're saying, like is one of the things like with me doing martial arts is like I'm doing hard things almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fighting for somebody not to choke me every day, and it's teaching me now, like there's been a year and a half, is like is you getting this, it's like you're tricking your brain into this new habit without having to do the other way. You can force yourself on your mind and do it if you don't want to do it, or you do something bad all the time and all of a sudden your brain is changing because you're doing this exercise. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, but no, I get it. Yeah.
I got a question. What's the difference between motivation and discipline? Can you explain that to a young man?
Yeah.
Right? Because I bring this up really quick, man, is because a lot of the young kids I talk to is like, well, yeah, I'm motivated. I'm motivated today. I'm motivated right now. And I'm like, and I ask them, but are you disciplined? Right? So can you, in a quick sense, explain to the young kid, the young man, the difference between being motivated and being disciplined?
Motivation is temporary.
Yes.
Yeah. Motivation is temporary. I can come into a room and I can tell you guys everything, give you a big motivational speech. Yeah. And it'll last a week, maybe.
Yeah. If that.
Yeah. Right. But when you are disciplined and you have those, you're going to martial arts every day. I got my 5 F's. I'm doing my things every day, and that's called discipline, which is called sustainability.
Yeah.
Right.
And so those are the. It's funny that you bring that up, but I mean, that's the difference. I mean, motivation honestly is a great thing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
But it's a false high a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really bad.
No,
people don't understand.
It's the truth.
I understand.
It's the truth. You know what I mean? And I like to be motivated. Everybody likes to be motivated. But all of a sudden now people want to be motivated all the time.
Yeah.
In order to keep them going.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You can scroll on Instagram and get motivated all day and do nothing.
Yeah.
And you feel very motivated.
100%. Dude, well, Mike Tyson said it, when he said it like this, that's when it made the most sense. Like, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to, period. Right. Doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what's going on with your back or your knees. You got to do it because you're disciplined. Regardless of what time it is, it must get done. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And it's basically the baseline for being, being a successful entrepreneur, a successful person in general.
Yeah.
is discipline, and in many different forms. So yeah, I mean,
So I know this answer, but I got to ask you anyways.
Okay.
How important? And again, man, you know, I'm doing my absolute best to try to give back to young entrepreneurs. Right, I have a soft spot for people who have that dream, but they're scared to do it, and I'm trying to pull people out of that scared zone. Like, you can do, you just got to believe. So I go down to my old neighborhood in San Diego once a year, and they have a small business symposium where they allow me to speak to a lot of young entrepreneurs with other entrepreneurs who have been successful in their own industry. And the number one thing that I always get like question is like, how did you do it? You know, how did you get over that fear, right? So I always tell people, like, you have to put the work in, right? But at the end of the day, you have to believe in yourself, right? Because if you don't believe in yourself, at least this is just me. If you don't believe in yourself, then you're never gonna do it, man, right? It's just never gonna happen, right? So my question for you is, how important for you? You had the blue collar experience, right? You were out there with your dad. He was a drill sergeant. He was on your back from sun up to sundown. I'm sure he had you working after school. He wasn't the nicest person. At the time, I'm sure
you
you
just described him. Yeah.
because I've been there. I've been there, right?
Yeah.
That's why I can relate to what you're saying. But like, I tell people a lot of time, like, you know, at the time when I went through that mud, it was like, I look back at it now, like, that was the best shit that could have happened to me.
Yeah.
Because that's what molded the discipline and the dream. And like, I don't ever want to be poor.
It just doesn't feel that way when you're going
through it.
Right.
But can you explain to people how important it is to go through that work, to be able to get on this other side?
Yeah, or to recognize it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, a lot of times we don't see. We're in the weeds, I say.
Yeah.
You know, we're not looking at the forest, and so
I call it the mud. Same thing. Weeds.
Yeah, same thing. You know, I mean, and you know, I mean, I talking about fear. You know, I mean, I think fear and risk are synonymous, and I would say to different people that have approached me about business, and you know, should I not do these things? Is I always look at things from a measured risk standpoint. A lot of people call things that I do risky, and they say it's, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy's doing this. He's buying this building in downtown whatever, and it's just a ghost town down there. He's stupid. He's ridiculous. He's going to lose his butt.
Right.
And I, you know, I just put my head down and go, because I've done the measured risk. You know, I understand
the calculations.
Yeah, and there's nothing that can help you more than understanding what measured risk is, and it takes the fear out of everything. Yeah, and so if you,
I got it, man. Yes. Yeah, I got more questions, bro. Yes.
Yeah, and so you know, I tell people that all the time, because that's you know, people are at crossroads a lot of times, and they say, you know, should I or should I not do this? And they look at guys like me, like a bunch of cowboys out there in the wild, wild west, you know, just throwing shit against the wall and trying to see if it sticks, you know. But in reality, the best entrepreneurs understand that concept of measured risk, and they're calculated, and they understand a strategy instead of just a dream. Yeah, so that's probably the best answer I can give for that. You know, this fear thing that a lot of entrepreneurs and want to be business owners have, and they just have to put their time in. You know, to study and strategize, talk to people. I'm not by any means the smartest guy in the room, and anywhere I go. But I will say that I'm the most like observant, you know. I'll observe the crap out of anybody, and I don't want to make the same mistakes these guys make, and so I'm just kind of like a vulture feeding on dead bodies everywhere, you know. Like I want, you know, I mean,
so you're a wise man.
You know, I try and learn from like really wise people's mistakes and not make them. You know, I mean, it really shortens the time span. You know, I mean, I know I'm 55 now, but I mean, when I was in my 30s, I was relatively wealthy, you know, like early 30s. So I was, you know, I was $10, $15 million net worth. And
nice, dude.
And, back then it was a lot of money, my 30s to early 20s, 30s, and that was hardworking blue collar, business and being like that. And, it was tricky, I mean, you had to make the right moves. I always heard of people really blowing it, I mean.
Yeah. And you're paying attention to what they did wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I always like, I want to blow this, man. I'm going to learn, always be a sponge, and never.
Where do you think you get that from? Because it's obvious that you've had that early on from the beginning, and then your brother's also successful. So it's like you guys have something. I know you're putting in the work, but you got these values from, was that your mom? Because I know you work hard with your dad. Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Was it both? Or what was it?
I think for me, it was when I grew up. I grew up poor, I mean, it sucked, man. I mean, when you wake up, when you wake up in the morning and you see your breath in the morning, bro. That's how we grew up, man. It's no bullshit, I mean, we didn't have a heater, man. We lived in a trailer.
And it gets cold over here, bro.
I remember opening my closet. I could see the ground.
The weeds going
outside.
through. The weeds growing through.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I don't want to go back to that.
Yes, dude.
Period, man. I mean, that's really what I think. When you're starving to death, you do anything for food.
100%.
And I never want to starve to death, that's kind of like that, I just, and it, again, now it's become this more of a winning thing. I know what the rewards are. I don't really think about the money as much as I think about winning, because I know the rewards are always going to be there. Does that make sense?
1,000%.
Yeah, and so it's a different echelon of business. But when we want to tackle a project, even I brought some partners on later on in my life, and I love my guys. I love my boys that I'm partners with. All my partners that I'm with in any business, in the business venture that we do together. And I mean, when you get together with a gang of guys or partners, and you can tackle something, and like big. I look at it like taking down a big bull. You know what I mean? Like all of us going in there as wild bull and just like taking it down. And
so bro, I get this question all the time, and I got to hear. I'm so curious to hear what you say about this. So for both my businesses, the three, including this one, a lot of people ask me like, why would you go in with the partner? Because there's always drama or there's problems, right? And I tell people all the time, well, that's, to me, I haven't had the best partners, but as I went on to start my second business, I really was very calculated, right? I was very like, who are they, what they did, how they treat their wives, how they treat their kids, are they good people? Do they go to church? What kind of values they have? What's their morals? Do they have goals? So that's kind of how I started to really like, okay, I can really work with this guy. He fills in a lot of holes that I have. I fill in a lot of holes where he has. And I don't know if you remember Voltron, the cartoon, where they all kind of come together and they kind of attack. Hey, that's how I describe to people.
That's a good analogy.
We come together like Voltron. Like we each have our own powers, right? We balance each other out. So for you, you're on another playing field, right? How do you go about bringing on a partner or teaming up with someone?
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so partnerships are tricky.
Yes.
And here's my advice on it, is that I've had partners in multiple things, and I've had good ones and I've had bad ones. And as you get bad ones, you learn, right? It's one good thing I told you guys is I learn real quick what not to do, and don't make that same mistake twice. And so I learned that partnerships can be tricky, and everybody thinks that your partner, like, I want to partner with you because you look like me and we're buddies and you're just like me. That's the worst partner you can have.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're not bringing nothing to the table. You're just another copy
there's
of me.
no better way to ruin a friendship than to become partners with them, And so you just don't want to be there. And so with the partners that you want to be equally, first of all, any partnership I usually go in, I don't go, hey, I'm going to be 51. You're going to be 49. I hate that shit. I hate it. I say, you know what? Hey, we're ride or die. We're 50-50, or we ain't doing this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, we're in this together. We're going to knock it down. We're going to do it. And hey, I'm going to pick you up when you're at 10%, and I'm at 90, and when I'm at 10% and you're going to be at 90, you're going to pick me up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of healthy partnerships happen, right? You have to know when your partner is at 30% capacity, because that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you have to be, maybe you're at 50%, but they're at 30. So you have to be that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
That makes total sense.
Okay. And so that's my analogy of partnerships is that, you don't have to be friends with these people. You don't have to go sing Kumbaya after work. You know what I mean?
But when it comes to
getting down, you guys know your zones. Pick them wisely.
Yes.
This is what you're good at. This is what we're good at. We're gonna go knock this thing down. I pick partners because they're good teammates on a project.
Yes.
Not because I like hanging out with them.
No.
Not that I don't like hanging out with them.
Right, but that's secondary.
That's not
secondary. And so that's how to have a successful partnership in general, and everybody says, another thing is a lot of people are afraid to do a business venture or a project or whatever. They always want somebody along with them for comfort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually not going to work out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't feel good. I need a little blanket with me.
Yeah. I need my crutch.
I got to bring this person on. Usually doesn't work out too well.
No.
I mean, so that's usually a mistake. But yeah, I mean, in general, partners are super powerful when you have the right ingredients. So
for me, I tell people all the time, like, I'm really good by myself, right? But I'm greater when I'm working in a
100%,
team, dude, right?
Like, it took me a lot of years to learn that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wanted to be a Lone Ranger for years. When I bought that company, I was SBA and all that. I mean, I said, I don't need anybody. I'm solo.
I got this.
And then later on in life, I'm like, man, I could do so much more, right?
Yes.
I could do 10x more with the right people around me. And so it's been great. So I mean, it has literally been a life changer for me because I'm able to do and be an expert in what I do best, and then have other people execute, and then we all have our zones. Now, my job is to keep everything together.
Yeah.
And the partnerships that I have with my boys and my other partners is just, I'm kind of they know I'm the one that keeps things together.
Yeah.
I'm this big safety net of funds. Okay, but. In general, I keep things together, keep everything on track. Yeah. And you need that person. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's a very important person.
Yeah, we're knocking down some big projects.
Yeah.
Like, myself and Ron and some other guys, Patrick, we all knocked down a 60,000 square foot building. It was just, it was an $18 or $19 million building.
Oh shit.
And, we're like, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Is that Antioch or is that?
It was in Antioch. Yeah. And we were just like, okay, we're gonna knock this thing down, boys. Don't worry, man. Do not worry. I'm here. We're gonna with you guys. I'm good. You know what I mean? And without you guys, I'm not. And I know you. Hopefully they felt the same way I did. Yeah. And so
Voltron, bro.
Yeah, that's Voltron. I guess. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's the definition of synergy.
Yes.
Is when you. Two things equal more than its sum, right?
Yes.
And so it's a super important strategy to say, hey, are you going to synergize, this relationship?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are we going to be better together and get things done better? So that's really the ingredients that I look for when I'm doing a partnership.
And I tell people, like, when you're by yourself, you got this little grape, you got this small little grape. But if you're with the team, you got this fat, juicy watermelon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody has so much to eat here.
Yeah.
Right? For years.
And for the amount of things that we're doing, I just can't do it. You know what I mean? We have.
Yeah, you have your hands on everything.
It's too much. Yeah. I mean,
you guys doing a lot of stuff in Antioch.
Yeah. At one time we had like 15 projects going at one time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
That's a lot of projects.
I mean, and we were all running hard, and so we just couldn't get it done. But we, together we were able to.
So have you ever had an experience with a bad partner? Like, fuck, this was a mistake, or this went sideways, or I'm never gonna do it with that dude again, or that person again.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And what I suggest there is just be the bigger person. You know what I mean? Like lick your wounds, keep a relationship more than money. That is really hard for people to do. It's hard for me to do, but
man,
yeah, you know what I mean?
I needed to hear that, bro.
Yeah, you know, but know your boundary, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you be a whooping post or,
No.
But understand that, I mean, to me, like relationships are more important than getting a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like when some people come to me all the time and go, well, Sean, I can't tell you about this deal because you're going to steal it from me. I'm like, look, man, if you tell me you want a property and this is your dream, do you think I'm going to rip that dream away from you? You think I've gotten to where I am today by ripping people's dreams away from them? No, man. I said quite the opposite. You know, I mean, I'll lay off of it so that you can do this, you know? And, you know, believe it or not, that pays dividends.
100%, bro.
You know what I mean? And so it's not, relationships are just powerful tools in life.
Networking, bro.
And a lot of kids don't understand that right now in their 20s. Right. And even into the 30s. They don't understand that relationships are everything in business.
And everything you're saying is very easy to understand when you're in the position that you are.
Gold mine conversation here, bro. Seriously,
I
bro.
mean, I feel like I should have paid for this.
This is gold, bro.
Yeah.
I'll send you my bill later. So. Yeah, no, I love talking about business. I love like sharing experiences and my philosophies just because it helps.
Yeah,
you know,
bro.
When you literally have like an engine like we have right now and things are going well and you have this trail of, you know, people that help you and have partnered with you and we do a project together and everybody's happy and they make money and everybody's
winning, bro.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's really, you know, what drives like guys like me and you guys too, you know, it's just like, hey man, you know, that was a big win, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
do you ever go and speak at like the high schools here locally or anything?
I do. I love to speak more at schools. I think the problem with the schools, which, you know, I would never say anything really bad about the schools, but I don't know if they understand that I never really leveled up in school, right?
Right.
I speak to those students, which I'd love to. I have a passion and a kind of soft spot for young ladies and young men in their 18 to like 26 age bracket, let's say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's a time in their life when
Crucial.
Yeah, a very crucial time. And I remember what it was like back then. I'm sure you guys do too. You know, I mean, I couldn't go to college. I didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I didn't have, you know, I just didn't have what it took, you know, to do those things that my friends and other people were doing in my circle of friends. And so.
But look at you now, baby.
Yeah. You know, every one of I have a really good group of core people from high school that I'm still friends with today. We all
really?
we all get together like every year still, and we all kind of get together, and we all, you know, a really good core. And they all went to college, you know, and we never talk about money or college or anything except for, but I mean, it was hard for me, you know, like, you know, when I was that age, you know, I felt like, you know, I was a lesser person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
because
honestly,
you felt that way because of your living, your financial situation.
Because the school system teaches you if you don't go to school, you don't go to college. Then what?
Who are you? Go to college,
oh my gosh, you're a loser.
Something.
You know, I mean, and so mentally for those men and women or young men and women, you know, I mean, I hated that. You know, I'm like, I wanted to break that mold. You know, I mean, I don't have to go to college to make it in life and have a good family and be happy. You know, not just make money but be happy. You know, and so. You know, anyway, I'd love to talk to schools, but that's kind of my philosophy on life is that, hey, you don't have to go to college to make it. If it's not in your cards, then there's other ways. And
schools might not want you to say that.
They might not want you to say that, but
it's true.
It's true. Yeah. But, and, you know, I mean, and schools are kind of a cliquey thing, and I'm fine with, you know, whatever. Yeah. But, hey, you know what? I mean, young men and women, they know where to find things now on the internet. Man. I mean, it has changed, you know, the way I think these kids can learn from guys like us.
Yes.
Just simply by understanding that, I mean, straight up, nothing's really changed from what they're probably feeling to what we felt back in that time. It's the same thing.
Except they have more tools to the disposal.
They have more tools to like find the answer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's the one good thing about the internet and the things that are connecting everything today is information is out there readily available for people. So I encourage them, you know, the kids these days is that, you know, there's definitely, and it sounds cliche-ish, but I mean, you don't have to go to school to be successful.
Yeah.
You just have to have what I call the golden. I would take somebody with this trait over anybody else, A student, D student, a professor, a doctorate degree, whatever it is, right? I will take somebody with uncanny effort.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah.
Anything.
Yes, dude.
Okay?
Effort, attitude, man.
You give me some guy with effort that has effort and drive.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky's the limit, man.
I got to ask you. This is so one of my biggest things, and I'm 44 now. I've been doing business legitimately for 8-9 years now. And my biggest thing is like, I'm always looking for Danny. Or I'm looking for like the guy like me, like he's driven, man. He wants it. He's got a great attitude. He's willing to work shitty hours and put in whatever efforts need to be done. Mm-hmm. Have you ever ran into a Sean? Like a kid, like, man, hold on, man. I can mold this. I can get this boy and I can scripture because he's got it. Have you run into him yet?
Not quite like me.
No? Okay.
But I mean,
you know what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, I need to do more outreach to that younger generation because I could see, you know, me and a lot of people, you know, back then, and I was rough, and I would love to, like, you know, I love finding those kids, and they just, you know, it puts a smile on my face to say, hey, man, you were just like me, you know,
keep moving, man,
you know, and you know, when you find these people and you have this desire to like you help them, and I've done, you know, I've done that. Like my son-in-law Luis, my oldest daughter married a good kid. He has a fence company, and I never really told him this, you know, but I was a lot like him. I mean, he's a little crazier than me. I was a little more grounded. I mean, he's kind of a cowboy, but he's a lot like me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to take any handouts. If I need something, I'm going to go get it. And I'm going to just get it done. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I come, he's asked me a question about something. I come over there and he's got it done. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was like. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to tell anybody, it's just done, you know? And that kind of drive is the effort that makes super wealthy, successful entrepreneurs. I'm telling you, you don't have to be a brain surgeon.
No.
You do not have to be smart.
No.
You don't have to be super smart. You just have to have this effort, social skills, and just that drive.
And they're willing to look dumb sometimes because you don't know. You're gonna learn. But so many people are so nervous about looking dumb or sounding dumb, you know. And I never cared about that shit because the only way I was gonna learn is asking.
Well, and if you're only hiring people that are less smart than you, then you're not.
That's a very, very good point. Like I'm glad you said that because a lot of people, the other good trait I do have is I'm able to find good people. And I got that ability to find good people that are better than me. And
that's what you want.
And a lot of people fear that, right? They don't want to have somebody in their arena that's better than them, smarter than them, and can do something better. And I'm like, you know, your paradigm changes when you own your own business and you're like, well, hey man, I wasn't the best pest tech. I mean, I wasn't. I just wasn't. I want somebody better than me because I wasn't very good at that. I mean, and I was okay with that. You know, I mean, I wasn't the best this and that. And I learned that really quick, man. I'm like, I can't scale any business unless I surround myself with people that were better than me. And I don't know why people fear. They always have to be the top
dog, the smartest person.
Or the smartest person, the best person, the best this. I'm like, I got to be the opposite, bro. You got to be like...
Well, I think if you're not putting in the work, that's why you will have fear to have somebody that's
brother,
smarter than you, because
Yeah.
then they can take it from you. But if you put it in the work,
Yeah.
Man.
That's the one thing I did do is I always got somebody that was better than me.
Yeah.
I always fed into that immediately. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you know, I mean.
So going back to your daughter, just really quick, because I'm curious about this one.
Yeah.
I got three. I got one boy and I got three girls.
Oh wow.
My girls are 19, 17, and 7.
Oh wow.
Right.
Okay.
So I have my son is the oldest. He's 28, and my youngest is 7.
Okay.
That's
My
a-
daughter's 28. I think.
So there's a big gap right there,
yeah,
right?
that's a big gap.
So you just said that is she married to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy?
She married.
So it's obviously you left such a great impression of what kind of man she should look for or partner, right?
I think so. I think
Maybe I think it happened naturally because of the
maybe, yeah. I mean, Marissa, my oldest daughter's a lot like me.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot like me, like too much. I mean, she got all my bad traits.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she did the bad. I mean, you know, she's very impatient, like driven.
Yeah.
You know, but
See, I'm not the only one impatient, bro.
Yeah, but she probably Luis is a lot like me. I don't know. I don't know if she knew that or not, but I mean, yeah, he was.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we set the bar naturally. Like, man, you know, dude, don't bring in no scrub over here. Don't bring in some dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
like-
I think my girls are like.
You set
they're
the bar
worker.
pretty high,
Yes,
bro.
My girls are workers,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
you know,
dude.
and this funny thing is that, and this is kind of for the older audience out there. I mean, I had just this really eureka moment one day when we were talking to my daughters and we were talking about business. They majored in business and marketing. They all have their degrees. And
Man, good stuff.
They said,
bro. Good stuff.
I said, how, you know, I'm glad you got it and all this stuff. And we were talking about one day, and they just mentioned that they learned more around our kitchen table, listening to us talk about our businesses and our days and what's going on and the trials, the tribulations, the successes, the wins, than they did at all
School.
4 years school. And so they really learned the real life principles, and they learned the academia part of it, which really made them powerful young ladies that they are today.
Great
and
job,
so,
brother.
you know, it's really important, I think, to have that one-on-one time with your kids and your family around the dinner table.
yeah.
And that was one of my goals on my 5Fs, is to always be home for dinner, you know, and that was a habit. You know, I didn't always, you know, I never made it 100% of the time, but I mean, at least
often.
6 days a week at least, or 5-6 days a week, we always ate dinner together. And, you know, so that pays dividends, you know, and that's one of those things you look back on, you're like, okay, yeah, I mean, that was worth it, you know.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, so kids, listen.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
They pay
bro.
attention to their parents and
Well,
what's
that
going
more
on.
than listen, they're watching.
Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, that was an a recent eye opener for us in the last couple of years.
So we're gonna pivot a little bit. What's the worst business advice that you've ever gotten?
God.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure somebody told you.
Yeah.
You're like, what the funky chicken did you just tell me?
You know, when I was younger, there's a lot of pessimistic people.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always a gatherer of information in my whole life, and I would always like. So the important thing about a successful entrepreneur is that they understand that they're a decision maker, and they have to, and they understand that they need to gather information from a lawyer, right? From a CPA, from all your experts in these fields, and do not take their advice, but listen to their advice and then formulate what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because they are not always right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your business leaders, your mentors that you have, I always gathered information from people, and I never went to one person and just asked them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yes.
And
yes.
the one thing I did do right was I always gathered that information from different people, and then I just
You're coming to your own
methodically.
conclusion.
Yes, and I'm a loner.
Right.
Okay, like I could be alone for weeks by myself and be fine, and that makes me process things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm fine being alone, and that's my time to process and get information. and make the right decision.
Yeah.
So that's one key element for good, successful entrepreneurs is to take good information from people, not what they say to do, but what you're asking them advice on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And making your own opinion, because there's nobody is ever going to tell, somebody told me not to buy that first company I told you when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me the advice. What are you doing? Don't buy that company. You're stupid. You're crazy.
They're injecting their fears into you.
Yeah, they're saying, what would you want to do that for? You wouldn't pay $200,000 for this company. You're 20 years old. That's stupid. Literally, that's what the advice came. And I'm like, second guessing things, blah, 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 blah. And, I didn't listen to them. And that kind of gave me the model to say, you are the one that knows the situation
You're
the
driving
best.
this ship.
Fuck yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, you are the one that knows the situation.
100%.
They are just giving you advice.
Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know that's deep.
That's fucking super deep,
but
dude.
that's like,
But it's home.
that's like,
That's home right there.
that's pivotal stuff, man. That
dude.
like helped me not make like fucked up mistakes.
Fuck.
Like I could really like say, okay, I made that decision. I own that thing.
Yeah.
I messed up.
Yeah.
And I am not going to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Mistakes are good.
Right.
Just don't do them twice.
Right. 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 Absolutely.
Yeah. And I yeah. So that's
So what's the biggest mistake in business that you made, and what has it taught you?
I thought the banking industry, when I came into a large sum of money, when I sold a couple of companies, I thought the banking industry was different than it was, once I dug into it. Everybody thinks the bank is this ethical, business that's probably quasi-governmental.
Apex.
They are the apex predator in life.
Yes.
The banks are. And when you really understand the banking system and all that, then you're like, holy shit. Man. Like, I'm giving these knuckleheads my money.
Yes. Yes, dude.
Dude.
Yeah.
I encourage anybody with sums of money
Yes.
that are putting it into the bank to understand how this banking Ponzi scheme works.
Yes.
In general.
Speak on that, man. That's a very huge area.
I mean, in short terms, everybody's heard of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Well, they're owned by the government, and they buy home loans.
Yes.
You're writing home loans, and you're qualifying them through Fannie and Freddie because Fannie and Freddie are going to buy those home loans from you. So the government's giving you money at 0.01%, I say at one time.
Yeah.
You guys are writing loans at 3%, 4%, 5%, depending on the margin up there.
Right.
And then you're packaging them up, selling them. You're patching them up, getting a loan, people are in a house, and then you take that loan and it's sold back to who? The government.
The government.
And now they're making, that margin. So it's just a big Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
And
Everybody.
and so it's fine, should the government be, I don't know, the '08 crisis was deep, I mean, you guys were around.
Yeah.
You saw the '08 crisis, and every bank got bailed out, I think, except for like Wells.
Some bull, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it was tragic, very deep recession. Guys like me that understood the banking system and these things, and we processed things, we took advantage, man.
Yeah.
I raped and pillaged these banks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I went in, I bought their distressed assets left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was buying buildings for $70 a square foot that cost $400 to build. Like one of our buildings downtown that you're in, I think you rent there, or your wife, right?
Yeah.
Is in. When I bought that building, it was a ghost town down there, and I bought that thing for $1.6 million. It cost $4.5 million to build it.
Yeah.
And I had people, which were the wrong people, to your point, that were telling me, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're crazy, man. That place is empty. Yeah, it's 17,000 square feet. It's empty." I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, I'm just laughing, Is that a little more? I had a little bit more business acumen underneath me back in 08, 09, 10, 20, or 12, and I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and keep thinking that, man, because I don't want any more competition when I'm
I want to keep buying more.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't when you're buying a building for $70 a square foot,
brother.
less than cost to build. Like everybody thinks I'm a cowboy, I'm risky. I have mad measured risk in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a gambler, but I'm a measured gambler.
Yeah. You have your formula that you stick by.
I'll gamble with these projects and this money and these things, but it's never loose. You know what I mean? I'll always understand that I buy below cost to build, and I always want a 10% or more cap rate at the end of the day. If I don't have those components, I just don't buy them.
Yeah. So what are you doing in an economy like right now? Like 10% cap rate on real estate is tough right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I work for a real estate company.
Right.
I work for Prometheus Real Estate, which has apartments all over the Bay Area and stuff. And so I get to see it through that. And I know right now, that is tough to get.
There's ebb and flows. Multi-housing market, there's no deals.
Yeah.
You know, you understand there's no deals, so you're not there in that market, right?
Yeah.
But there's deals. There's always a real estate deal somewhere.
Yeah.
But even
somewhere.
commercial is like not doing as great as it was 5 years ago.
So what does that mean?
Well, you can buy.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's just the long game that you're playing, basically.
Right. Well,
real estate is a long game.
I bet it is. I mean, we make some home runs on short term gains too.
Okay.
You know, but in my world, here's what I am. I'm a distressed commercial real estate investor.
Yeah.
So I only buy distressed assets on commercial market, right? So vacant buildings that need work.
So then, really, this is your good time. So
well, there's a lot of buildings that have been improved because of the economy that we have. We had a really good economy, right, so far, and now they're all improved. But now they're starting to degrade, right? So you're trying to see that stress point. It's not quite ready to buy.
Yeah,
we're a ways away.
Right.
I mean, again, I buy below cost to build.
Yeah.
10% cap rates or more.
Yeah.
You know, so those times aren't here. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
I just don't buy. I just be
just hold
disciplined.
on.
Just don't do it. You know, I mean, but those deals are out there. Like we bought that building on the corner of 2nd and G downtown. I bought that with on the block. It was distressed. You know, hookers and prostitutes all over it and boarded up, and we bought that for $600,000.
No shit.
Yeah, man. It's 14,000 square foot building.
Wow.
$600,000. Right now, we're going to cash flow about $35,000 a month on it. Yeah.
So bro.
So that's what a distressed entrepreneur does. So we're like house flippers.
Yeah.
On a
community.
on a commercial building.
Yeah.
So we're we're commercial flippers, right?
Yeah.
So we'll distress buy, tenantize, and hold, or we'll sell.
Yeah.
So as long as we're returning, like on that one, the return rate after our input cost is well over 20% caps.
Wow, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this economy is insane. That's crazy. That's
So those deals are there.
What have you done to like educate yourself to understand the banking system and real estate to be able to get to this point where you're finding these deals in this economy?
Yeah.
Or in any, really.
To educate yourself on like finding the deals?
No, just understanding it so you can find the deals.
Oh, yeah. Underwriting the deals. Yeah. It's a super important part. I have underwriters now that help me in my office, but I underwrite a lot of the stuff, right?
You do? Okay.
Well, they do a lot of the hard work.
Right.
I look at the data, so to speak. But
you get all the information.
You know, I mean, I've been doing it so long, I could just tell.
But so I guess I'll say it in a different way. So for like somebody like me and him, this is something we want to do, right? We want to get into real estate. What advice do you have to like, hey, this is the path you should follow if you want to get there? Because to be honest, even me I work for this company for years, and I'm, that's not what I do, the investing part. Like I work on the F&M side of things, but I get to see it. But sometimes it's like, okay, some of these deals, if you don't really understand them, you can get yourself in trouble. You know, it's easy to say like, oh, I can make a buck, but it's like you're saying, you're like 10% or I'm not in. You really need to understand to be able to go find those deals, because if you don't understand it, they're not there.
Right. And that's the barrier to entry. So this is what I have to say about people who want to get into what I'm doing, because I want more people to the party. Like, I don't want to be the only one here and there. I mean, there's other people I love to teach what I do and how I do it. But one thing I always say in the forefront is they need to understand that the wealthiest people in the world do this.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
So understand that's what you're getting into. So there's tremendous opportunity.
Absolutely.
And from there, a lot of decisions are easier. And what I mean by that, and the reason why I start that off like that, is because now the decisions that you have to make are, I have to understand how to underwrite and know a deal. I have to understand what cap rates mean. I have to understand, construction costs. You have to understand the blue collar part of it. You have to understand the white collar part of it. And the successful real estate guys are that mix.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
You have that white collar ability, and that blue collar work
ethic. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Know what it takes to rehab a building and what it's going to be and what it's going to do and what you can do. You have to have that whole package in order to be, a really good distressed commercial investor.
Correct. Yes.
Now that's sometimes a tall order for people. But if you can do that, I digress to what I said earlier, it's the wealthiest industry you can get into.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth the self-education, the mentorship, to really good people that you surround yourself with, to get that intuition to, hey, that deal is something that, I want to look further into. And then go from there with a really good due diligence plan.
Yeah.
And so it's not easy. If it was easy, people would be doing it.
Everybody would be doing it.
But do you want to be super wealthy? Do you want to be the apex predator? Because that's what we want to be, right?
Yeah.
So we love owning all our buildings cash.
Yeah.
We don't get any loans.
Nice.
We use 1031 laws. We use the tax laws.
You've built a team around you in all those categories,
right?
Yeah,
now we got, I think we have I don't know, man, 60 or 70 buildings in different things, and 500 some tenants, and mostly all commercial. We don't really like the multi-housing.
Oh, okay.
Do you have anything else out of state?
No.
No, you plan to?
And people ask me that all the time, and I'm like, I just I'm a guy that likes to feel and touch everything.
See, I'm not crazy, bro.
No,
yes.
I mean it was too stressful because I want all my properties to be managed by my team. So we have our own property manager guys, we have our own underwriters, we have our own real estate people. We work with a ton of different agents, but internally we have our own people that do real estate. Transactions and stuff for us, but I have tons of relationship with the real estate agents because they're my main peeps out there. You know what I mean? I love having deep relationships with any real estate agent out there because they all have deals that they need a guy like me for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Close quick cash. No BS.
Yeah.
So
they can find a lot of things out for you, get you information.
I mean, I want them to think of me first.
Yeah.
When they see a property, like, hey man, this lady wants out. There's nobody else that's going to buy this junk.
Yeah.
When they say junk, I want them to think of me. Junk, Sean. No, but I mean, like the commercial deals that have come our way are really from that. You know what I mean? Like nobody has the appetite, and I call what I do like an appetite. For a reason.
Yeah.
Because some people aren't hungry for those things, right? And everybody asked me, why do you keep doing this, man? And I said, hey, you get hungry for lunch, right?
Yeah.
Well,
That's the same
I'm hungry
way.
all the time.
I'm hungry all the time.
So, like, not a lot of people have an appetite for big commercial distressed properties. You know what I mean? There's just a few of us that can eat that big of a meal.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
you got the finances to back you up.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, and bank loans are good. I mean, they have their purpose. I like leveraging things too. I mean, it's not that I don't have any loans, but I mean, when you're knocking down like these bigger commercial buildings, you're making millions.
Yeah.
You're not making, thousands,
Right.
hundreds of thousands. We're making, that's just our appetite. You know what I mean? It's like it's not that making $100K on a flip or whatever is bad. I mean, I don't ever get greedy. I mean, I'm like, I'll do that too. I don't care
if it makes dollars. It makes sense.
I tell everybody like this, man. I go, hey, man, I'll sell a Volkswagen or I'll sell a Ferrari as long as
you're making money.
Making money, right? It doesn't matter, So I don't ever discriminate, on the neighborhood or anything like that.
So along your journey, man, fuck, bro, your story is awesome, dude. Your story is awesome. Along your story, you have to have support at home, right? Like your wife has to be like, hey, whatever you need from me, I got your back. Don't worry about the kids, or where do you need my help at, right? I've seen a lot of young men marry the wrong person, right? Or vice versa. I've seen a lot of young women marry the wrong person.
Yeah.
How important, bro, right? Especially in your level and where you started, where you met her, right? How important and pivotal does she play a role in your success, right? How important it is to have a good partner.
Yeah, it's everything. Obviously, when you are when you have the right partner, first of all, Maria, she shops at Walmart and she still clips coupons.
No way, really?
Yeah,
right on.
I mean, the woman collects cans and puts them in, her thing and recycles. Okay, I mean, that's the way we have to be,
Yeah,
and to this day, that's what she does, and I mean, we never really lost focus on where we came from, wastefulness,
that's
gluttony.
Bro.
I mean, we're, you know what I mean, and so to have that, you have to be yoked with somebody that has that attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen so many men go down, with that person
because they're working their asses off, and I mean they're getting the nails done and the hair done and everything else, and which is so fine if you can afford it. But if you're building something, and whether it's the guy working or the woman, however it is, if one person is spending all their efforts to make money to get you to whatever goals you guys have,
right,
and the other person is going in the opposite direction.
There's no, exactly. You know what I mean? And so I've seen a lot of young entrepreneurs, they're really, tangled up with that nightmare of, man, I can't get ahead because there's so many needs and wants of their spouse to where they want, I need the house, I need the car, I need this, you know what I mean? And if any advice I can give to young entrepreneurs out there is that when you're fostering a business with a partner and your wife or your husband, that business is like your baby. And it has to be nurtured and it has to be tended to, and everything has to go into that thing.
Yes.
I mean, it is the goose that's going to lay a golden egg for you in the future. And when you don't nurture that business during its infant stages, it doesn't mature enough, right? And so that's the fault I see a lot of young couples get into with that don't have that really frugality in their head, is that I have got to really understand my business and what the needs are before mine.
Yeah. Fuck, dude, that's big.
Yeah, I that's
big, right?
We lived on top of ramen, literally, till when I bought that company, $200,000 loan from the SBA. I was shitting bricks, man. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this back.
Dude, you were so young, bro.
Yeah, we were just I mean, everything went in that business, man.
Yeah.
Everything. She was working. She would put her money in there, and we were just like.
So she came from the similar background as you?
Yeah, we're both scrappers. You know, I mean,
bro, that's beautiful.
She's also raised in Brentwood.
Yeah, Brentwood, or around Bay Area. Yeah,
right on, bro.
But yeah, we were scrappers, man. We were just the business was important, to me, and so because it was important to me, it was important to her, and that.
So yeah, so I got to ask you this one. So when I started. Man, for the first 2 years here in Brentwood, I was literally driving to San Jose, San Francisco every fucking day, Monday to Sunday, leaving the house at 4:30,
Grind,
5 o'clock. The grind, bro.
Yeah.
Trying to build a business, making sales, right? You don't have a business if you're not selling anything, right? I couldn't breathe, right? I was like balls to the wall, stressed out. But then, you get over that little hump, their first little hump where, okay, I can breathe a little bit. The money's kind of coming in, right? I got payroll. Now the kids don't have to eat beans and rice every day. Now we can give them some top ramen now. You know what I mean? We can add some fruits and vegetables. You know what I'm saying? When you guys started, and you bought the property, I'm sure you were still like, fuck, man, I'm stressed out. At what point did you and your wife say, okay, man, we can breathe a little bit here? Was there a first point you guys had that conversation like, man, okay, we're starting to see the upside here, right? Did you have that moment?
Yeah, I mean, so the difference in our relationship was Maria was always like confident, like she didn't care about money. You know, I mean, she didn't need anything.
Okay.
She's still that way today.
Beautiful, bro.
She doesn't need anything, you know, I mean, my closet's like twice the size of hers. You know, I'm a high maintenance guy. You know, yeah, it's bad. But you know, I mean, back then it was like she was always like okay with anything that we did. You know what I mean? Like if we lived poor, it didn't matter.
That's all, man.
You know what I mean? So, but there was a time, you know, to kind of piggyback what you're saying that I remember when I bought my first sports car.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was probably. It was stupid of me, you know. I should have never probably done it or whatever, but I could afford it, you know. I didn't care. I was like 20 whatever years old.
Little reward, little goal.
Yeah, right? It was nice.
Little
car.
write-off,
it was like
man.
Big deal. You know? I mean, nobody else had a sports car, so I bought it. And you know, I mean, I thought, okay, this is going to make me happy, man. You know, I bought this. It was back then. It was a Vipers, you know.
Yeah.
And so I bought the Viper and paid the money for it. I was like, you know, it lasted about a week, man.
And went away.
Yeah. I don't even care about that thing anymore. I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then drive around. Okay, I'm done with that. I don't care about it no more.
Yeah.
It cured me. You know. I mean, and it's funny. You know, like money does something. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but I think it's important. I mean, money does something different to you. Like when you have wealth, it just does something different to you. You're never happy. With possessions and things, because you could buy it, you know, you could just buy whatever you want,
whatever you want,
you can buy it, you know, and you could just, you know, right there, I could call, I could be here, do it. But what the true happiness I could tell you is all the intangibles. You know what I mean? Your family and all those other things. You come home. I mean, you have peace.
You can't buy that, bro.
You have peace. You know what I mean? I mean, just all that little stuff. You know, I mean. When you're wealthy, I see all these people that are super unhappy and they have all these things and all that. And luckily for me, you know, I mean, I think she kept me grounded to where like it was like, okay,
she never let your head get big.
None of this stuff really matters, you know. All the other things matter, and I never really bought into that, you know. But I bought into I want all these possessions, you know. And that's just what men do. And they're going to do that, and then a lot of young people are going to do that in their relationships, you know. And then you'll find out real quick though. I mean, I quickly said, I don't care about all these things. I like having them. It's great, but I don't care, man. You know,
they can take this shit away right now.
I don't care. You know, And so having that person like, you know, juxtaposed to that, I mean, I think it was super important for me. Yeah. You know, and I don't know if you understand all that, but
it all makes sense.
Yeah. You know, I mean, us men get crazy, okay?
Yeah.
We get all crazy. Yeah. You know, and women could get crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We've seen that opposite way. You know, women get crazy too.
Yeah.
And so it's good to have that.
But was that something that you consciously you were seeking when you got married with Maria, or was it just you got lucky?
I got lucky, man. I mean, we got married, early. I mean, relationships are different. I mean, you kind of change. You know, you're not the same people that you were when you're younger. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, none of us are.
Well, you're not the same person you were last year either. So.
Yeah, you know, we're always changing. As you know, marriage is work. I'm not. You know, I get an F in the relationship category. You know, which I've been told. And so, you know, I mean, a lot of businessmen they have. You know, like I roll with, and these in these things, they have very little emotion, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the things that is our Achilles heel is we're not really sensitive, you know?
Yeah.
I wish I was more sensitive and I had more feelings. And I do, don't get me wrong. It's just I don't cry a lot. I mean, I don't have like a lot of feelings for different things, which is not like one of my best things I'm proud of. But I think I've just been hyper focused on, you know, other things, and that, you know, I kind of.
So would you say that you deal with stress pretty well, or?
So stress is like major, right, in business life, and you know, you got people that can handle this level of stress, and then you got and they're fine, and they act and they can function, and then you got the same people who could act and function
with that level
of stress, you know, and so I would say that anybody in my position that is doing the things that we do in our group, you know, you're up here, you know, period. You know, I mean, you have to take stress. And, you know, the best thing I can have an example is like, I love when I walk into my office and they know there's a stressful time in our office, like something happened, right? I mean, the deal went south, something major happened, an accident, building caught on fire, whatever, right? Yeah. There's chaos, and this happened all the time, right, in my career. And I learned very early on, when those times are on, right, are the times for you not to be stressed, you to go into your team, composed and calm.
You're the conductor.
And lead that, and do not get stressed out. This business is like a pedal, gas and brake pedal. Yeah. You got to know when to turn on the stress. Yeah. You know, when people are lackadaisical, you know, you got to know when to hit the gas, and you got to know when to hit the brake. Yes. It's not, you know, it's that type of attitude you have to really have a successful team around you, you know, and you have mad respect from your team members and your employees.
Well, they see that
when they see that, bro. You know, they know that you're going through like hell, and you're composed. And you care about somebody's day. Yeah. You know what I mean? They see that, man. It speaks volumes. And so I'd say like you have to work at that. You can't, you know, you're not actually born with it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you that's something that you're not born with. You may not be born with a certain level of it, but I mean, you have to like exercise that stress muscle to say, all right, I'm recognizing this. Yeah. And I need to be better, you know? And so I don't know.
No, dude. This is gonna be so educating for people, bro. Seriously, man. Because I'm sending this to a lot of the people down in San Diego, the people I talk to. Like, dude, you're hearing it from a different level, right? He's speaking the same thing on a different platform, but it's at the end of the day, it's all like, man, it's the same funnel, you know. There's no like, to me, I don't really think it's just one principle, man. It's just doing the right thing, being there, learning from mistakes, growing, right? You don't know it all, bro. If you think you know it all, then you're gonna fail.
Then you're gonna fail.
Right? You know, you have to keep absorbing all this information 24/7. I gotta ask you, what's the most amount of money you've made in 1 year? Like, what has been your highest margin, bro? Oh, God. At least give me a ballpark.
All right, so guys like me, we live in this different world. Okay. We live in this world of not how much we make, but how much wealth we build.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you see those YouTubers out there running up to people going, how much did you make on the man? When did blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Right. You know, oh, I made $3 million yesterday. You know, I made, 10 million, 100 million last year on the biggest deal I ever did. Yeah. Guys like me, we live in this world of wealth, not riches. Yeah. We build wealth. And so the difference is I want to use tax laws to build wealth. If I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going, I don't want to do that. Yeah. I want to use a 1031 tax law, right? Yes. Right. To buy another building, to build more wealth, more passive income, blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I will tell you that, the windfalls come when I sell large episodes. So, I've sold businesses for between 10 and, $12 million a lot of times. And those are big episodes. And unfortunately, you know, you got to pay this
Yeah,
massive
tax.
tax bill, blah, blah, blah. I hate it.
Oh.
And so that you become allergic to that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're like, okay,
I'm getting stung by bees over here, man.
making $10 million in one transaction doesn't feel as good as it used to.
Right.
So
I don't care who you are. Don't feel good.
I guess, yeah. So I guess my question is, what's the highest thing you've ever sold?
Oh, I mean, right. I mean, there's companies right now that we've gotten offers for. I think the last offer I got was for $48 million. You know,
Dude,
so
sick.
you
Yeah,
know, but I don't know if that matters. I mean, you know, like I say, money is.
I like to call money energy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't measure anybody on money.
No, you know, not at all.
Yeah, I get it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, we're all wanting to win this game. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of a two-edged sword. You know, I mean, we can make, if we just wanted to go out there and kill it, we can make tons of money if we really wanted to, a lot more than we do.
Yeah.
But I love, you know, the hunt and the game.
Yeah.
And so, you know, do I want to sell the company and make 50 million? You know, I mean,
can I or should I? Do I need to?
One important thing is too, I don't really get attached to anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but that's business, bro.
It is.
Right?
You know. I mean, I never really get like attached to, like, I'd sell my house. You know, if somebody wanted to buy. You know,
if the price was right,
I don't care, I'll move, you know. I mean, that's one like maybe bad thing that happens to you when you get really like distant from, you know, you kind of like, you know what. And I suggest people don't get attached to things like their possessions and stuff. I mean, I think they always should have. This is a good thing to talk about. They should always have like an exit strategy in mind. Like everybody wants to start a business. I mean, if you can't start a business and sell it for more than what you got it into it for, why are you doing it? And that's and people hate that, right? They're like, oh my gosh, I want my dream. Who cares about your dream?
So true though, bro.
Care about your dream. You know, you're gonna dump it. I've seen people do it in my buildings. Okay, they have dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into their dream, only to do 2 years later to have it fall apart. They're out their life savings and whatever. Everything. I only build businesses that I can sell for more than when I got into it to scale. Subscription-based, service-related, you know, businesses. And I suggest everybody really take a page out of that playbook.
Yes.
You know, when they want to start a company, they want to start a business.
I'm picking up everything you're putting down,
some way to get a subscription-based, reoccurring base out of whatever you do.
Absolutely.
Okay? I mean, I had HVAC people come to me, and a lot of times, HVAC is big right now.
Yes,
you know,
bro, it's growing.
And I told them, do you know why? Because those good companies that are growing are scaling because of reoccurring contracts, not because they're installing an HVAC system.
No,
it's because they're getting contracts that go back there every quarter, and they maintenance that account. They maintenance that, you know, whatever. It's a reoccurring thing. And that install is fueling their reoccurring piece. You know what I mean? So that is worth money.
Yeah.
Those businesses are always marketable. We've probably bought and sold at least 50 businesses in my career, you know, in the service related industry.
Yeah.
And we've helped people scale and grow. We've sold businesses, and every single business that we've bought and sold in the service related sector, being subscription based, recurring revenue, has always had a buyer, multiple buyers on them. So why wouldn't you want to be in that sector of business? Why wouldn't you want to put your time and effort and money into that sector rather than, you know, another business that doesn't involve that? I mean, no offense to real estate and real estate professionals. They make a shit ton of money. Yeah. Loan officers are making a shit ton of money. But the next day they're broke.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
You know, and so... not that that's a business or whatever, but if you're a real estate agent and you have a big operation, you have a bunch of agents below you, you know, I mean, you're indicative of so many different things. You have no reoccurring platform except for maybe property management, which everybody hates.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you hate it?
Yeah.
I said, I know it's not the big money maker,
but it's reoccurring.
But it's reoccurring. Build that while you're building and scaling your other real estate empire. have that property management piece in there. To me, it's like going to sustain you through an '08 crisis.
Yeah. Oh my.
You see what I'm saying?
Just blew my mind right now. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's how I look at money. You know what I mean? I look at money like I want to build wealth, to sell and not just make a bunch of money one year.
No,
you know what I mean?
No. I'm hearing you loud and clear, bro.
And I'll be transparent with you, man. We live on very little money.
Yeah?
Our family lives on very little money. We don't spend a lot of money, We're pretty...
I believe on actually doing that. And what do you think that's important? Like, why is... Right, because you can have a more elaborate life if you wanted to. But
don't get me wrong, okay? I mean, if you see my life, it's not hard to be free. Okay?
no, I know exactly what you're saying, but it's relative to what you could have, right? Because you can,
yeah.
Like I say, I'm the high maintenance guy in our family.
Dude, you got a lot of shit on your plate, bro.
Yeah, I have like 40 cars, and I got like abundance of everything and all this other stuff. And so I'm not one to speak on them, but I just don't have any like big reoccurring bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the key, right?
You're treating your household like a business. Like that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and like I say, we went through different periods of our life. We were always really frugal, and we came into this point where where we are now, and it's different. And so it's I'm not saying I live like a peasant. Don't get me wrong.
What's your favorite car out of those 40 cars?
Probably my old trucks. I have old square body trucks that we remodel and stuff.
Is there one in particular that you say this is?
I think my stepside, like the quick story was like when I was in high school with Liberty, there's this guy, his name was Guy.
Yeah.
And his name was Guy.
Yeah.
And he was older than us. He was like 4 or 5 years older, and he had a girlfriend, and he would pick her up from high school, and he was out of school, she was in school, and he would come in with his 4x4 truck every day and pick her up in his 4x4 step side.
Left a mark
and
on
all
you.
of us were like, oh my gosh, we only be this guy.
One day.
You got a 4x4 step side with a roll bar and Casey lights, and his girlfriend sitting next to him. It's just like, you die and go to heaven. I want to be this guy. And so it was an orange Chevy step side, right? And so one of my girls works with me, one of our team members. She's one of CSRs. She drives this orange step side, and I said, man, and she said, hey, I really need to sell this car, I'm leaving. I said, well, I'll buy it from you. I always wanted a step side because of this guy's truck, driving around and everything. I was like, yeah, I got it finally. So I fixed it all up, lifted it, did the whole thing, made it look exactly like his truck.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, when I was building my big house out there, was my truck driver for my gravel guy. And
he was?
The guy that was...
That guy in the story.
the guy in the truck, right? And I knew he was. I knew it was Guy. And, and he was my truck driver, delivered my rock to build my house. And he was building he peeked in my shop. He says, oh my gosh, you got a step side just like mine was. I said, yeah, I bought it because of you.
Yeah.
And fucker, you made me like do all this. I made like 80 grand into this truck because of your ass, And he walks in there, and he goes in there, and
can I touch it?
He goes,
can I drive
look at it? I go, look at it, man.
Yeah.
He pops the hood. He looks underneath there. He goes, Sean.
No,
dude.
Bro.
He goes, this is my truck back then. And I'm like, what?
Get the fuck
out, dude. Craziest thing, man.
No way.
Yeah.
Bro.
And so anyway, it was a cool story.
That
was the exact same truck.
Crazy story.
Yeah. And so
what are the odds of that shit happening,
bro? That was crazy. So anyway, but. So it's come full circle. I got the truck.
Yeah, I got the truck. I got the truck.
I got the truck.
Do you have a picture of that on Instagram or no?
I think maybe not. I don't really. On my Instagram thing is mostly business.
Yeah,
stuff. I don't really showcase all my crap.
Well, I like to see it. You should send us a picture. I'd like to see it. That story's so cool.
That is dope.
Cool. But anyway.
That'd be cool to put on when his video comes out. The truck right there. That'd be pretty cool.
Story.
I could give you. Totally
great.
Yeah. Cool.
Man, dude, we've been here for a while. We can talk a whole lot. No,
hey.
dude.
We're just making sure that you're good on time.
I'm fine. It's been good, but
Yeah. So man, there is a few questions that we kind of like. I like kind of like little brain teasers, kind of throw at you, kind of sideways a little bit.
Okay.
Right. And then he'll have a bunch of questions where you'll answer solo. You have, you got to kind of answer them kind of fast, right? But the one I like to ask a lot is, if you could be any animal in this world, what would you be and why?
I'd be a lion, man.
That's right, baby.
Lions,
Why?
man. They're just majestic, man. I mean, that's lion or a bull.
Lion or a bull?
Lion or a bull.
All right.
Yeah, I'm always bullish on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two animals I identify with.
Yeah. No, honestly, it makes a lot of sense, dude.
Yeah.
The second one is, if you could have any superpower in this world, what would it be and why?
I think it would be, superpower. I think it'd be teleporting.
Yeah.
Just second part.
Yeah, dude.
And why?
Yeah, dude. You get shit done faster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go,
man.
baby.
Let's go.
Shit.
Boom.
I gotta be in San Jose. I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't want to be here. Bang.
Bang.
You'll be so more.
That's a good one, dude. That's a good one.
That's a hard question.
What's the difference between life insurance and banking?
Life insurance.
Like life insurance for your money, whether any kind of insurance, or using a bank, right? So just educating some of these kids here. Like, what's the difference on it that you know of?
Life insurance being like the actual product?
Yeah. Just like life insurance for stacking your money. Do you even use life insurance? Do you have life insurance?
I had life insurance when I was younger, but I don't need life insurance. You know what I mean? Like, you want to get to the point where
your wealth is your.
You don't want life insurance. Your wealth is there.
Yes.
I think in general, like we were talking about with the banking piece, banks are not your friend.
Right.
They're your tool.
Yes.
And understand how to use them.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people waste their money on life insurance.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Right. But and then obviously you're on a way different level.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe guys down here, to them, it's another form of getting some kind of money or having some kind of security for their kids.
Or is it kind
happens.
of like the blanket that you mentioned earlier? Is it just like makes you feel better because you think there's going to be something there?
Well, I think life insurance is very warranted if you have family, kids, and I think I had it, when I was younger, when I was growing and all that other stuff. I mean, it's definitely beneficial, but I mean, I think the ultimate thing I remember was, all right, Maria, we don't need this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, cancel that shit. I mean, our life insurance, we Social Security, I don't even want to depend on that shit. You know what I mean?
No. Right. No.
Yeah, we're on our own. We're America. We're in America, and we're capitalists, and that's like the American dream, right? Yes. I mean,
that is the American
keep
dream.
Social Security for all you people that need it, and we're not going to apply for it.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
Shit, you just threw a curveball at me right now.
Those are tough questions.
Is there a good book that you like to recommend?
You guys are good, man.
Oh, thank you.
Like
it? You guys are good.
Do you like
Thank
it?
you.
Yeah. Right on.
Good.
Is it different than what you've done before?
Oh yeah.
Right on, bro.
Yeah, you guys are down there.
We're genuinely interested in having this conversation with people. Like, I'm having a blast,
bro.
Just hearing you.
Not only that, I've learned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I read a book a month.
Oh,
you do?
I always try to read a book a month or listen to a book a month.
Yes.
So let me rephrase it real quick. Since it sounds like you read a lot. Give me one book you recommend to a kid between 14 and 18, let's say, and one somebody mid-20s.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for younger people, I like the book by Barry Farber called Diamond in the Rough. I mean, really gives you those foundational principles that we talked about. I read that book back when I was younger. I mean, for in the 20s, an entrepreneurial, spirited 20-year-old, I love the books by John Maxwell about business by the book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the best value book that you can probably read to understand that, you know what, man, business isn't this shrewd, cutthroat. I need to be a mean bastard to do, right?
Right.
And it taught me like, yeah, man, I mean, I'll jeopardize money for relationships. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's things like that. I think because in our 20s, we get really, really jaded, you know, like, I need to make it, you know, and we kind of lose ground a little bit, which I did, you know. I mean, I'm one of the people that I should be speaking to back when I was 20, you know, and that book kind of kept me grounded, you know, like, I don't have to do all these things that generally people thought you had to do to be wealthy, right? People identify wealthy people with being shrewd and cutthroat and unethical.
Yes.
And it's just not the truth. You know, a lot of us, overwhelming majority of us aren't that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, the few that are kind of spoil it for everybody, you know?
No, it puts a bad rap out there.
Yeah.
Right?
I love reading on audiobooks now, you know. Obviously I don't read physical books anymore usually.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously you're leaving, you have this wealth that you're leaving behind as a legacy, but, you know, knock on wood, you pass tomorrow. What is the legacy you want your kids and all these people that you employed and to have of you? Obviously, two different things, right? From a business perspective and then a family level. What's your legacy that you want?
You know, my family, for one, my girls have already done everything that I mean, I can't ask for anything more than for them to be more yoked like I was into that arena and to be who they are. I mean, they've maturated into this person that I'm like, okay, I've done what I think all I could do now is them. And they are better than I am now at a lot of things, believe it or not. They're running, like, you know, my middle daughter's running the hospitality piece, you know, and all these things. And so it's been great, you know. I mean, I've passed on, I think, and I hope maybe somewhat of a legacy to them to say, you know, don't take advantage of this. Always be humble and, you know, steward all this stuff that's here, you know, hopefully for generations, you know, you'd hope.
Right.
I think for the people around me, you know, I mean, I was built by the people around me. And that means a lot to me, right? I mean, like, I can't say that I'm some kind of, you know, person that everybody looks up to or anything. I mean, these people like built me through trial and error. And, you know, they're the people that, you know, told me that, hey, you know, shut the hell up, you know. I mean, you know what I mean? Got me aligned on a daily basis. And I think that they would appreciate that if I were to pass, you know, I think they would appreciate that I was able to be molded by them, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because none of us are, you know, this perfect person.
No,
and, you know, when you learn from the people that are around you that have been with you every day, I mean, they really, really appreciate it. You know, they're like, they'll follow you madly, you know. I mean, they'll die with you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I could have had people tattoo our company name on their, you know, on their back if I wanted to back in the day. You know, we were just all like, this is our company, you know, and that's like, you know, the best respect you can get, I think, you know. But you have to be in the trenches with your people, you know. You have to be there. You have, like, when I came in all dirty, when we had, I don't know, I had probably 80, 90 people working for me at one time in this one business, you know, our main business when we were growing. I remember being relatively big, right? We were 11 million or 10 million or whatever. And I remember coming in all dirty from working, you know, on a big weed job. You know, I had all this dye all over me and everything. And I remember people telling me, like, the reason why I stuck here and I like this place is because you came in dirty when you didn't have to, you know? And I didn't even think twice about it, that's just my job, you know? And that kind of stuff, like, has an impact on people.
It does.
It does.
You know, like, when I spend time with somebody out of my day, or, you know, I go out of my way to ask them how they're doing, and
or give them a hand real quick.
They see me, you know, out there.
I know it's a little bit of a cliche, but it's true. It's like people don't quit the companies, they quit people.
100%.
Right? And if it's oftentimes, you know, obviously you got to pay your people well, but oftentimes what holds them back is not the money.
Money's temporary. You can give a person a raise today, tomorrow they're still going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
But for men anyway, a lot of times praise is everything. You know, they want to be respected and they want to be praised for their good works. I mean, that is what keeps us men. You know, men are the only people that will die for another person.
Yeah.
We're the only animal. You know what I mean?
Bro,
Men will die.
Listen to that.
Yeah. And we're a special being, you know, and we're special.
Yes.
I mean, I know that I would die for somebody.
Yeah.
Same here.
You know,
Absolutely.
and men would die. Men has that special trait, you know, and they want to be respected.
Yes.
You know, and so that's a big piece to understand when you have employees like that. You know what I mean? Like, that respect goes way further than money.
Yeah.
You know, when you have people, you know.
Dude, you dropping golden nuggets here, bro. Dude.
Yeah,
Man,
it's true.
bro.
We're special people, man. Men are special.
Yeah. Well, bro, man, I want to give you your flowers really quick, bro. Seriously, man. And this is something that we do on the show is what you have done is outstanding, right? You're a leader. You're a pillar in the community. You're changing things. You're giving people opportunities. You have people on payroll, right? You're a good dude, man. I've only met you really this short time. But I think you and we have so much in common, right? And I feel like you're a person I would love to be mentored by. You know, I'm a sponge, man, and I'm trying to shoot in that direction that you're at. But I really want to tell you, man, really honestly, Sean the Don McCauley. Thank you, bro, for giving us a moment of your time and being here and blessing us, bro.
You guys are great.
You know, and seriously, man, keep doing what you're doing. I know you're gonna do it for the rest of your life, bro. I don't think you're ever gonna retire, bro.
No. I second everything that you're saying, but you know, one thing for me, Sean, is like, so we did our homework, right? Like I said. Sean's coming here, so you know, we listened to a few of the podcasts you've been in, and I. Apparently not very good homework because I did not read your book. But and it was all really impressive, and it is impressive. You build this stuff, but to me, this entire 2 hours we've been here is like what's more impressive is the person you are.
Yeah,
like your values.
Thanks, man.
They just bleed, and awesome conversation, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's
well, thank you guys,
crazy.
man. This is great. I mean,
man.
very well done. I mean, I enjoyed my time here, man. I didn't think, you know, I go on these podcasts and but yeah, this was fun, man.
Right,
it was a fun one.
Nice, nice,
hey,
bro.
Open invitation anytime you want to come back. You know, in the future, we're planning to do a one where we bring some of the business owners, small business owners that we brought here, and do like a round table.
Yeah, get a couple more chairs in here.
Yeah, dude.
Talk more like a panel, like
some good topics that people just
So
if you're open
I
to
love
stuff
to do that,
like that,
man. Yeah, sharpen everybody's knives.
For sure.
You know? Yeah, I mean, I love that.
Yeah, bro.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for being here, guys. You guys know the drill.
Seriously, man. Thank you.
Like, comment, and subscribe. You guys, I hope you made it to the end because this was
they're gonna make it to the end, brother.
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks a lot for your time.
Sean the Don. Holy, bro, in the house.
It starts with a fire you can't ignore. A story and the will to bet you wanna grow something.